I can't go home looking like this. I can't go home wearing a skirt.
Neither can I. She's turned her phone off. What are we gonna do?
I turn around to look at Nathan and Jack, and the pair of them look like it's the end of the world. Neither has said a word to me or the other. I feel like I'm the Sherpa for the dead, and they are both just following me into the afterlife. I guess walking around in a girl's uniform isn't so fun if you're worried about your parents finding out. I don't know what they're both thinking, but I can imagine they aren't pleased with my sister, or Lara for that matter. How could they both just storm off like that? Surely they'd think to come back. As we turn down the corner of my street, I point down the road at my house. Nathan obviously knows where I live, but I wanted to reassure Jack too. If you two wait around the back, I say assertively, standing between them both, feeling like their knight in shining armor. I'll go in, and I'll get you both a change of clothes.
What about my makeup?
Jack asks, looking at me like I have all the answers. Wet wipes? I reply with a shrug. Jack nervously wipes at his lips.
My mom's gonna have so many questions.
Jack says, anxiously fiddling with the rim of his skirt. Don't worry, I'll get your uniform back from my sister, I reply, giving him a reassuring smile. Although he's clearly worried, he gives me a warm smile. I can't help but blush in reaction. What is it about cute femboys that I like so much?
Does your mom ask you questions about your dressing?
Jack asks, turning his attention to Nathan, who is standing by my side. Nath shakes his head.
They don't know about it,
he replies, brushing hair from his eyes.
I've always managed to keep it secret because my parents are quite strict.
Until I walked in on you, I teasingly interject. Nathan gives me a wry smile, but I can tell he's not happy. He hasn't outwardly said, but I'm pretty sure he's not ready to come out yet. Today, we are really pushing our luck. Why didn't they listen to me? I told them this wasn't a good idea.
Sonia, do you...
Jack asks tentatively, twiddling hair between his fingers.
Think sometimes it might just be easier to come out and be honest? Rather than lying about who you are all the time?
Jack's got a point. Although I'm worried about what people might think, coming out to Jade about my sexuality was kinda uplifting. I look at Nathan and wait for his response.
I don't think my family would agree with it.
Nathan eventually replies, scrunching his face and folding his arms tight.
I doubt they'd understand or even try to. That's why days like today are so special to me. Even if it's been stressful, you know?
I can't help but feel bad for my friend. I can see it pains him. I wish I could do something for him. You know, now that I think about it, his parents probably wouldn't agree to us being in a relationship either. Why does everything I do have to be so complicated? Contemplating my own love life, we approach my house, and all three of us try and keep a low profile. Nathan and Jack look very convincing in their little skirts and wigs, but I prefer no one see us. Jack and Nathan clearly feel the same way because as I duck behind a parked car, they do the same. So, I whisper, you two go through the pathway and go around the back. Both look at me with worry on their faces, then I give a reassuring smile. Don't worry, I'll be back in seconds. You'll be out of those skirts in moments and back to being boys. I point down the side of my neighbor's house and Nathan and Jack nod in agreement. Watching them both scurrying away, dressed as they are, I can't help but chuckle. They are both so adorable and awkward at the same time. Just watching them trying to jog but not have their skirts flap up is almost comical. I wait until they have both turned out of sight. Then, once I can't see them, I stand, brush myself down, and approach my house as normal. Entering my home, I'm greeted by an eerie silence. I thank my lucky stars that my mom isn't jumping out of the woodwork like she usually does, demanding for me to go do my homework. Heading straight upstairs, I throw open my closet and swipe 2 pairs of shorts and a couple of basic t-shirts. It should be enough for both of them to cover up and look normal. I can't do much about the girly shoes they're wearing. I have clown feet compared to them both. It's strange to me that both of them can fit into girls' sizes. My mind turns to things it shouldn't. What is it they say about guys with small feet? Shaking that thought out of my mind, I bundle up the clothes I found and rush to the house to go around the back. Strangely, no one is here. I mean, even Dad is usually home by this time. It's a little odd. Trying to ignore the sinking feeling that something isn't right, I dash into our back garden. I pretend to be all stealthy, like in an action movie, moving covertly from bush to bush for cover. Reaching the back gate, I can hear talking, but think nothing of it. My house backs up onto a green that everyone uses to get around the neighborhood. There are always people going for a jog or walking their dogs. Closing our gate behind me, I turn with a big smile on my face, expecting to see Nathan and Jack desperate to swipe the clothes from my hand. What greets me is far worse. Strikes fear into my soul like I've never felt before. Like we've been ambushed. Kaylee, Barry of all people, and Nathan's mom, standing inches away from Jack and Nathan with the sourest of expressions. My heart sinks as I see them. Shocked to my core, I stuff the clothes in a nearby bush and approach them all. I can't believe Nathan's mom is here with Barry. How did they find us? They must have been looking. Explain yourself, Nathan. Nate's mother commands, putting her hands on her hips. Nathan is silent and almost jumps as his mother shouts. Not knowing what to do or say myself, I catch eyes with Barry, and he's smirking at me. Wait, did she just say Nathan? When he's still dressed like Sonia? Crap. We've been ratted out. I glare in Barry and Kaylee's direction. It must have been them who told on us. Well? Andrea, Nathan's mom, says impatiently. Why are you dressed like that, Nathan? She doesn't give Nathan a second to answer before staring daggers in my direction. I know this is because of you, Matthew. My eyes grow wide and I'm like a deer in headlights. What do I say? It is kind of my fault that all of this has happened.
Maybe just answer Mom's questions.
Kaylee pipes up.
Come clean.
Yes, Nathan! Why don't you tell everyone why you've been pretending to be something you're not? I want to punch Barry right in his stupid, smug little face. Jerk. Actually, strangely enough, it looks like Kaylee does too. Yes. Andrea agrees, stepping closer to Nathan and looking down at him. I'd also like to know why. This behavior concerns me, young man. Andrea then points at Jack, and the boy looks frightened to death. I think he may have soiled himself. Lara won't be pleased if that gets on her skirts. You must be the other boy, Andrea remarks using air quotes for emphasis. Jack stutters, intimidated by her. Hello? Jack, right? Andrea questions brashly, waving Jack off with one hand. Go home. We've already asked the school to talk to your parents, so I'm sure they will have questions. I expect my daughter's uniform dry cleaned and returned to us within the week. His face now completely pale, Jack turns to look at me with fear in his eyes. He desperately wants the clothes I've promised. Still, Nathan's mom is standing between me and him with an almost immovable presence. I shrug, unable to help. Accepting his fate, Jack scrolls off. I see him looking back nervously before he disappears around a corner. Ouch. Poor kid. I told them not to drag him into this, and now he's gonna have to go home dressed like that. Right, you two, Andrea says sternly, pointing down the path. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Matthew, your parents are just as annoyed as I am. They are furious that you have lied to them. She points again and gives us both the angriest of looks. March, you two. Everyone is at our house. We shall be having a talk. I look again at Barry's smug face. Does he have to come? I ask nervously, pointing at Barry. Andrea, who's still pointing with a stern expression, looks at Barry. No, you probably don't need to see this, Barry, dear. It was lovely to meet you, but I will be taking Kaylee home now. Barry puts his arm around Nathan's sister's shoulder, and his arrogant expression makes me feel sick. Oh, that's fine, Barry replies politely. It was a pleasure to meet you too, ma'am. Now I know where Kaylee gets her good looks. I glance at Nathan as Barry turns on the charms. He's just as pissed off as I am. He's such a snake, and he's all over Kaylee. See you later, babe, Barry says softly, kissing Kaylee on the cheek. Much to my surprise, Kaylee nudges him off. Yeah, she narks, wiping the spot on her face that he just kissed. See you later. I look again at Nathan, and he's gone as white as a ghost. I then watch Barry turn away to leave, and he just glares back at me as he starts to walk away. I lower my head into my hands, and it's obvious what's happened. Kaylee must have seen through Nathan's disguise earlier at the school gate. She must have told her folks. How else would they know? You two. Andrea growls, roughly grabbing Nathan's arm to pull him. I said march! With our heads down, not wanting to make much of a scene, we both do as we're told. We follow behind as Nate's mother leads us directly down the path and around the back of Nathan's house. Kaylee follows behind us just as quiet. I don't dare say anything. That's when we approach their back gate and Andrea leads us through the back of the house. Nathan is essentially pushed through by his mother, and then Kaylee follows behind. Just as they walk toward the house, Andrea stops me at the gate and stares me down. She shakes her head at me and gives me a look of disgust. If what I've heard is true, young man, she sneers, some friend you are. My son has always followed you around, and you've always taken advantage of him. Now it's gone too far. Again, I dare not say anything. I hold my head down in shame and tentatively push past her. I've never seen Nate's mom look so angry. My heart is thudding in my chest as I enter Nathan's home. I can feel his mom's presence looming ominously behind me. Almost like she's breathing down my neck. Entering through their kitchen, I hear chatter coming from the family room. Stopping to compose myself, Andrea pushes me in the back and into the room. Everyone stares at me as I enter. I'm stunned to see Jade sitting in one of the chairs, looking like she's been crying. Why is she here after storming off earlier? I'm also terrified to see my mom standing beside her and my dad, shaking his head at me. Nathan's father, Ian, and Kaylee are also in the room. Ian is the only one not looking at me. He's just staring off into the distance. He has that look about him, like he's seconds away from flying off the hook.